Over the last couple of months, as part of the lead-up to the SIDS conference, we've heard opinions about many crucial issues through online forums, interviews, workshops, meetings, and more. The movie you're about to watch is a collection of a fragment of these dialogues transformed into one thought, helping us understand some of the major issues in SIDS from a youth perspective. What makes a strong youth group? Vani Dattanasinga from the Bulla Youth Network says the biggest testimony of her group is that they're a youth group without an office, equipment, money, and a bank account for that matter, but because they are values-based, standing primarily on ensuring the upholding of dignity and just processes, they have survived. You need committed, humble, passionate youth who join not because of opportunities of travel and of fame, but who genuinely believe in the dignity of people and are willing to commit time, energy, and personal funds to further the cause. What constitutes an effective group? Well, surely leadership is one aspect, as leaders keep the bigger picture in mind and can think of collective benefits rather than just doing things to move their own personal agendas. At the same time, the group needs to be diverse in opinions, yet united in their cause. Humility ensures that you stay grounded and committed to your vision and values, with or without money, with or without popular opinion. Now that we've talked about what makes a group in the first place, let's look at the youth perspective on a few of the issues on the agenda at SIDS, specifically climate change, sustainable economic development, and gender, health, and youth. Starting with climate change. It's no exaggeration that SIDS are at the forefront in dealing with the effects of climate change, with 26% of land area already below sea level and being near a high frequency of natural disasters. Krishnil Narayan, who is part of a youth-led organization called Project Survival Pacific, said that being aware of climate change is being aware of the future. Youth recognize the world they are inheriting and are more vocal in advocating for the future they want to build. Climate change is not a distant threat, but a stark reality for our small island states. The link between climate change, biodiversity, and sustainable development is a matter of survival of young people and the resilience of our islands. Young people envision a self-sustaining, climate-resilient, peaceful society in which the survival, prosperity, and dignity of the people of the Pacific are ensured, and the problems posed by climate change are solved through sustained global cooperation. Brianna Fruin is an activist for climate change and does work with 350.org. As part of an outreach program in Samoa, she did workshops with local schools on climate change and how they can help out and make a positive difference in their homes and schools. The students felt comfortable with her as a student who could relate to them. The project was really for youth and by youth, and that's why it worked so well. She recently checked up on some of the students, and they said they've started their own environmental group at school. What usually comes to mind when we talk about economic development? You don't picture healthy rainforests next to a thriving industrial factory, do you? The environment of SIDS has an invaluable source of aesthetic, medical, and economic purposes. Economic productivity should be understood as something that cannot be sustained if natural resources become depleted to the point where no further extraction can take place. So, to ensure we keep our economic productivity as SIDS, we need to put preservation of the environment at the core of our economic activities. Who do we put the responsibility on? Many say we need to implement government policies like protected areas, sustainable fishing and tourism methods, and implement strict laws. Some look at the consumer perspective, where if there is a demand in the market for environmentally friendly methods, then the businesses will aim to meet that. Matalita Hua, an environment disaster officer from Tonga, is working with the Tonga National Youth Council to set up virgin coconut oil units across villages in Tonga, employing people in those villages using a sustainable, environmentally friendly method. Similar projects also exist in Samoa. This project employs women who are single parents or widowed, which further helps them to take care of their families. This is sustainable economic development from the grassroots level in action. In addressing the social aspect of SIDS, the political becomes personal. Youth are always involved, be it in preserving cultural heritage through participating in the arts and efforts made by universities and schools or community programs. Tahera Sisia Alafia, who delivered a speech to the Women's Major Group of Children and Youth in June 2014, says the greatest natural resource of SIDS are the people. Young people in SIDS present a reservoir of immense resources in advancing just and sustainable development, which can be advanced provided that development agencies and governments invest not only in formal and non-formal education, inclusive of skills training and entrepreneurial skills, but also ensure high levels of diverse, quality, and accessible education, decent livelihoods, and lifelong learning. As you can see, the youth have plenty of opinions and perspectives out there, taking their own stand on major social issues. But the question is, what role do the youth, including those working as CSOs, actually play in the bigger picture of enforcing social, economic, and political change, especially in partnership with the government? In questioning the roles of CSOs with government, it can be said that civil society have the opportunity to represent the perspectives of their community in their government, and therefore should be empowered to engage with the government. The role of youth groups and CSOs also help in balancing the scales between mandate and authority. An elected government represents its people, and those people have a right to ask questions, participate, and work with the government and other organizations in decision-making in order to meet the needs of economic, social, and environmental sustainability. Why do we even value the youth voice for SIDS? If you look at the phrases that have been used throughout this movie, you would have heard youth and grassroots initiatives, youth in partnership with the government, youth seeing the long-term effects of the world they are going to inherit. It's a fact. The youth voice diversifies the way we approach sustainable development, and it's through these partnerships that we can see the big picture and enforce change.